because this is your chance to potentially make some change, and considering all of you will still be here next year, it's a big deal, okay? Big hearts. Thank you. Action.
So during our Arizona trip, we went and viewed one of the high schools there, Desert View High School, and afterwards we had this fishbowl experience with some students from Desert View. It was basically the Desert View students and then the students from, it was about 8 New England schools who attended this conference. So it was Desert View and then the 8 school students, and then it was all the staff, administration, parents, whatever, on the outside. They were not allowed to say a thing. We sat, we listened to the Desert View students speak. Then we switched and we were on the inside and we spoke about all this good engaged learning stuff. And then the parents, staff, all the adults stayed quiet and they just listened. And then there was this whole big group discussion and debrief about it afterwards, about what was said and how we can use that for change. So the whole idea of bringing it back here is to get a baseline, see where we're at, see how the students feel, and then make change based off of that.
Yeah, we really love the idea of the fishbowl because their whole focus at Desert View was on breaking down the hierarchy and that students and teachers are equal and they're walking through education together on the same level. So the fishbowl is a great way to demonstrate that. As teachers had to listen to the students talk and they weren't allowed to listen, and we thought it was a great thing to bring back here so we can begin to break down the hierarchy here as well.
It's also important to make students care about their learning and have to take control of it themselves rather than just showing up and doing what the teacher tells them to do.
So we just have like a list of questions. We're gonna ask one and then conversation will start, popcorn off of each other and just be honest.
Yeah, okay. So our first question is, what makes you come to school?
What makes me come to school is that drive, that wanting to go to college, get a good education, being able to learn new things and just put it out there in the world and know that I can have the ability to learn new things in order to achieve more in my future.
I mean, I agree with Marin, but also I do enjoy coming here and seeing people I know, seeing my friends, seeing teachers classes I like going to.
I come to school because I do value having an education, because I do value the opportunity to be able to educate myself. There's a lot of people in underprivileged countries and areas that don't get to have an education. My mom's from Vietnam. She does not have the same opportunities growing up that I do now. So I come to school to take advantage of the opportunities that are around me to get an education and build a better life for myself.
How about one of you? What makes you, I'm sure in season, you have the drive to come to school.
I come to school because I just want to be athletic, really. That's all. I just really want to play sports. That's really why I come.
So the second question is, what does it look like when you are engaged in learning? Or you can take it from the other perspective and answer what stops you from being engaged in your learning.
I mean, I know when I'm engaged in my class, I don't want to say I forget that I'm in class, but I'm just invested in the lesson. I'm not thinking about oh, when the bell's gonna ring, when is this, when can I leave? I don't know, I just kind of focus.
What sort of stops me from being engaged in my learning is getting piles of work, just being stressed and overwhelmed with the work really just doesn't help me be engaged in class.
Yeah, going off of what Marin said, stress is what stopped me from being engaged in my learning. Because I feel I can put every class I've taken into two categories. One that is really grade-based, it's test, and the other that is content-based, and the grades kind of come along the way. It is those classes that I'm more engaged in because I'm more focused on actually learning and enjoying the content of the class versus, okay, I have to get this assignment in, and I'm not actually learning anything along the way besides doing work.
Okay, that kind of leads us into our third question, which is, what type of learning is boring or uninteresting? Or even within that, what assignments do you find engaging, and what do you find is just tedious work that you have to get done?
Probably one of the most boring ways to learn is if they just keep talking and they don't really show any examples, because you're just oh, you just write it down and you're oh wow.
Yeah, I think we've all had that one class where you go in every single day and it is a worksheet or a presentation and you sit and you do the worksheet and then you come into class the next day and you do a worksheet and then you come into class and do a worksheet. And then we also have those classes where it's all right, here's the project topic. You want to make a song about it? Go for it. You want to make a children's book about it? Go for it. How many of you guys, I know I've had to make a song, and you're sitting there trying to come up with words that rhyme with some like element on the table, and you're sitting there, and it's so engaging because you actually have to think about it. But then you go to another class, and it's here's a worksheet, here's a worksheet, here's a worksheet, and that just, you do it because you have to do it, but not because you want to do it.
I mean, I think the main thing when it comes down to most of my classes is the teachers that actually care and put in the work to like, you can actually feel like they put in the work to create this assignment. They listen to the questions. They want to help all of you learn. Those are the classes where I'm actually engaged, because sometimes I just lost when it comes to some of the work, and then I'm just tired and I don't want to do it. But it's those teachers that really get you back into the work, not because they want you to get back on track, but mostly because they know it's best for you.
And to go off what Don Paul said, like, I feel like it's better when you have a discussion in class with, like, you can, like, talk with your teachers and, like, the students can answer questions as well, rather than just, like, have someone talking at you and, like, telling you thing after thing after thing, like, you don't really get it.
Okay, so now that we've addressed how we don't like to learn, how do we like to learn?
I'd say like visuals and like projects and doing like fun experiments instead of just talking and taking notes.
Yeah, I was to say more hands-on activities, more getting up and actually moving, and then like projects over tests. So I feel like tests, it's a lot of just like filling in the bubble. What do they know? What can you kind of decipher? Whereas a project really gives you an opportunity to showcase what you know about the topic and be creative with the topic and actually have fun with it and explore it more and do research on it.
You can go.
I feel like hands-on assignments and like given like maybe more freedom on certain things, like doing projects and stuff. So I feel like that's more engaging and better learning environment.
I think when teachers are given the opportunity to think outside the box and create an assignment that might take longer or isn't like the typical project, that's when you get students actually having fun and being able to like make what they want. And I think that if teachers were given and encouraged to make more assignments that were geared more towards the fun, because at the end of the day, I think a lot of students get lost in terms of engagement because it's just test after test after test, like just hitting every single unit. And then it's just like, you have all these assignments in every single class, you just get overwhelmed. And when it's just nonstop, you just tune it all out at some point.
I mean, I like when we can do like group presentations and like split off. Like Marion can agree, because in one of our classes we'll do like a mini presentation at least like once a week and put it on a little poster board, and then like if we can present it to other kids or other kids can present to us, it's easier to understand in like small chunks.
Group work. You gotta have group work. If it's not group work, it just gets repetitive.
Even if it's not work, I like when we're doing the warm-ups in Miss Kelly's class and we're like engaged in the conversation. I can't remember what it was today, but I like how the entire class like engaged in the conversation. We were all talking about what the answer to the question was. I'm pretty sure today was about the water table or the watershed over Blackstone.
Shifting gears a little bit, do you think that we demand enough thinking from our students here at BMR?
I'd say yes and no. It depends on what class you're in. Because if you're in CP, you get more worksheets, but if you're honors and AP, you get to talk more and do more stuff. I
think there could be more in terms of pretty much every level, in terms of like just more creative work, because I feel like especially in the CP and the honors classes, you can just be handed like a simple assignment one after another to where you're not really showing what you can do, or you're not being given the ability to do whatever you want to do. I just think that there should be more, but also at the same time, kids get overwhelmed. So there needs to be a balance of allowing them to do more, but also keeping it at a restricted amount.
What do you need to tap into to be your best self when learning?
With this, think about those projects and the worksheets you've done that you've sat there and you're like, hey, this is actually, like, this isn't half bad. And then those other ones that you sit there and you stare at the clock and you go, when is it lunch? When is it lunch? I'm done. Get me out of here. So really, what's the difference between those and what gets you to be your best, like, learner?
I'd say like the type of problem they give you to answer. Like if it's math and they give you like almost the exact same thing every time, you're kind of like, when is this done? But if you get different problems with like different like types of answers, I feel like it makes it go by quicker.
I feel like assignments or projects where I really get to tap into my creativity and be more hands-on and actually involved with the assignment, where it feels like I'm contributing more to it than just kind of filling in the blanks, is when I learn the best.
Yeah, in Arizona, we also had a conversation about how when teachers offer us choices, like Izzy talked about earlier, within the same assignment, so we can express our knowledge in our own creative way that works best for us. We really feel engaged in those kind of, assignments. Do you find that true for your learning as well? What makes a teacher your favorite?
When they actually build a relationship with you and aren't just like, here's the work, go figure it out.
It's when they understand that sometimes you're busy and they make the changes around your schedule and just listen to all your ideas and actually put it into action.
And they're not always upset, like, it's okay if you're sometimes upset, like if you're in a good mood and makes the room have a good mood.
Like when teachers put in as much effort as they want back from you. So like they're like putting as much effort into the assignments as they want back from the assignments.
When they seem to have a genuine passion for what they're teaching and a genuine involvement in the field. Because how do you expect me to feel excited about a topic if you literally look dead or seem to really, really hate teaching it? When teachers actually seem to have passion for what they're teaching you, that's what makes me want to actually be in their class and like being there.
When they like acknowledge like that the amount of work and stuff can be stressful and they can make accommodations based on student to student.
I was gonna say pretty much the same thing, where they have to be more like a human than like a teacher, because sometimes it is overwhelming with like, I know a lot of people favor athletics, myself included, and with a lot of other classes as well, it can sometimes be a lot, but it's more important when you go into that class with those teachers that they don't treat you like just another person. They attune to like how you learn. They'll talk to you about your day, they'll ask you about how you're doing, and they'll, like if you need like an extra day or two, they'll give it to you, because at the end of the day, the assignment shouldn't be prioritized over your own mental health.
Yeah, teachers that remember that we are high school kids and that we are not perfect and that we sometimes will need accommodations.
Is there joy in learning? And when have you felt joy in the classroom?
Even if it's just like a certain type of assignment, like what makes you sit there and not just put your head down and do the work? Like what makes you actually want to do the work?
I say like labs and experiments are like type of assignments that I really engage with, because it's more hands-on and I'm just more focused in actually having fun with it.
I like when we can do like smaller projects, like individual or group, and you can pick like a topic or current event that you actually care about and that you want to learn more about.
I feel, sorry, go ahead.
I like having like my ELA class, we're doing a research project, so we each choose our own topic and like research however many sites we want.
I feel like when I get to engage with my peers and like share ideas, it definitely makes learning more enjoyable.
I like different assignments that help me become more engaged with the topic in like a different way that I never would have thought of. Like in my history class this year, we do these things called food days, where we'll make a dish or some type of food from a place that we're learning about during that time period in history that they actually ate, because it helps me learn more about those people through food, which I never would have thought of before, and I get to make food.
I personally really love when we're debating different concepts. Like at the beginning of English units last year, we would do an anticipation guide, and you have some people on one side of the room if they disagree with the statement, or other people on the other side if they agree, and it's just so much fun to have that banter, and I think that really brings that higher level thinking where everybody's really engaged because they are sharing their opinions and what they care about, and I really think like that's where I find joy in learning.
Yeah, I think tuning into what you care about. We all have our own things that we care about and that we want to learn about. And when we're able to do things like we just did an English project where you pick your issue in education, and every single project was different because we all care about different things. And every single group was engaged in what they were doing because they got to pick something they care about. So really finding the way to apply what the students care about to the assignment and showing their understanding really is what makes me like happy to be here and enjoy what I'm doing.
Okay, that was the end of our questions, but we still have a minute or two if anybody has anything else they want to share while we're still here.
I'm curious if you find enough opportunities to share your thoughts about learning with adults in the building. And if you were given that opportunity, would you take it?
I think we don't get enough opportunities to like kind of talk to like adults about their learning, and if I had the opportunity, I would take it.
Good. There's something you'd tell me that you haven't already told me, because you've said a lot, and I like that.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Do we have enough opportunities? Or how could we create more opportunities? How about that? Instead of a yes, no, give me a qualifier.
Something during charter time you could create.
All right, I like that. Charter time. What else?
I want to do more rebuilding with our student council and kind of expand that more, because now we do kind of have a platform to do as much as we want within the state. Maybe take on more advisors, have more teachers be involved, have more students be involved, just have more student engagement opportunities through that.
If we ask you again to do a fishbowl, is anybody going to say no? Cameron didn't see you. All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you coming. You guys were awesome. You can go. You don't have to stay.